He bought the unwanted daughter no one wanted. But when the Apache warrior finally saw her face, he did the unthinkable. What Rose didn't know was that the man who purchased her had made one condition, a guarantee that he could return her if her face truly frightened children. And what neither of them knew was that one stormy night in a cave would change everything. Because when the sack finally came off, the warrior saw something that made him do the one thing he had sworn he never would. Something so reckless it could cost him his place in the tribe. Something that would expose secrets 7 years in the making and prove that sometimes the cruelest prisons are the ones we're taught to build around ourselves. Arizona Territory, 1866. Rose Hartwell was 10 years old the day her world ended for the first time. She stood in front of her mother's vanity mirror, the late afternoon sun spilling through the window and catching in the glass. Around her neck hung a pearl necklace. Soft, luminous, and warm from her skin. Her mother had once promised it would be hers someday. Rose smiled at her reflection. Her blonde hair had been freshly washed and brushed by the housekeeper, and she hummed one of the songs her mother used to sing while braiding her hair. That was when Vivian appeared in the doorway. "What do you think you're doing?" Her stepmother's voice was sharp as ice. Rose startled. I was just looking," she stammered, quickly reaching up to remove the necklace. Vivian crossed the room in 3 quick strides and snatched the pearls from Rose's hands. "You have no right to touch these," she said coldly. "No right to stand there pretending to be some little princess. Mama said they'd be mine when I—" "Your mama is dead," Vivian snapped. She grabbed Rose's chin and forced her to look into the mirror. "Look at yourself," Vivian hissed. "Really look. Do you see what I see?" Rose swallowed. She saw a girl with her mother's hair and her father's blue eyes. A girl losing the softness of childhood, beginning to resemble the woman she would one day become. "I see me," Rose whispered. Vivian's lips curled. "I see a problem. You're becoming vain. Obsessed with your appearance. It's disgusting. And it needs to stop." 2 days later, Vivian presented Rose with a burlap sack. "From now on," she said, her voice falsely sweet, "you'll wear this whenever anyone visits. Your face is unsettling. People have complained, though they're too polite to say it to you directly." Rose stared at the sack, her hands trembling. "They whisper," Vivian continued. "Poor Jonathan, they say. Stuck with such an unfortunate-looking child. This sack will protect people from having to see you. It's a kindness, really." Rose's father was in his study. He heard everything. He said nothing. That was the day Rose learned that sometimes the people who are supposed to love you are the ones who destroy you most completely. Takakota had negotiated many deals in his 31 years, but never one like this. He had come to the Hartwell ranch to buy horses, 20 of them. Strong, well-trained animals perfect for the autumn hunt. Jonathan Hartwell had the best horses in the territory. Everyone knew that. The negotiation went smoothly. Too smoothly. They stood in Hartwell's study, contract nearly signed, when the rancher cleared his throat, the way men do when they know they're about to ask for something shameful. "I have an additional proposition," Hartwell said, avoiding Takakota's eyes. Takakota waited in silence. Silence made men reveal more than questions ever could. "My daughter," Hartwell continued, gesturing vaguely toward the back of the house. "She's 17. Educated. Reads and writes fluently. Speaks English, of course. I thought, perhaps your people might benefit from someone who could teach the children." "We don't need a teacher," Takakota said flatly. "I'll throw her in for free," Hartwell blurted. "Just take her off my hands." Takakota studied him. Hartwell was sweating despite the cool air. His hands shook as he poured another whiskey. This was desperation. "Why are you so eager to be rid of your daughter?" Takakota asked. Hartwell drained his glass. "She's difficult. Won't marry. Drives my wife mad. And frankly, she's not pleasant to look at. Wears a sack over her head. Says the sight of her face upsets people. Takakota's jaw tightened. I don't want a white woman in my village. I understand, Hartwell said quickly. But your chief sent you to find ways to help your people adapt, didn't he? The white man's language is everywhere now. Your children will need it. Takakota hated that the man was right. If she frightens the children, Hartwell added eagerly, bring her back. I guarantee it. 1 month. No cost to you. Takakota stared at the contract. Fine, he said at last. But if she causes trouble, she comes back. Hartwell practically ran to the door. Vivian. Bring Rose down. Footsteps sounded on the stairs. First came Vivian, beautiful in a sharp, cold way, with calculating eyes. Behind her came a figure that made Takakota's breath catch. The girl wore a burlap sack over her head. She was thin. Too thin. Her clothes were torn and stained, and even from across the room Takakota could smell neglect. This is Rose, Hartwell said, not looking at her. You'll teach English to Apache children. Do you understand? Yes, sir, came a muffled voice. She has no things, Vivian added smoothly. Nothing worth taking. Takakota felt a surge of disgust. The girl stood perfectly still, hands clasped, head bowed. Like someone who had learned that invisibility was survival. We leave now, Takakota said. They rode until the storm broke. Thunder split the sky, rain turning the trail into mud within minutes. There's a cave ahead. Takakota shouted. Inside, he built a fire. Rose stood near the entrance, soaked and shivering. You need to get out of those wet clothes, he said. I can't, she whispered. The sack, he asked incredulously. They can't see my face, she said, panic rising. It's horrible. It frightens people. Something cold settled in Takakota's chest. Rose, he said gently, you'll freeze. I promise, I won't run. Trembling, she untied the sack. It fell away. Takakota forgot how to breathe. She was beautiful. Not perfect. Not polished. But heartbreakingly, painfully beautiful. Her blue eyes were enormous and frightened, filled with tears. Don't look at me, she begged. You're not ugly, he said hoarsely. She told me every day, Rose sobbed. Every day. She lied, Takakota said. And in that moment, he knew. He would never take her back. By morning, the storm had passed. Rose left the sack behind. When they reached the village, people stared, not in horror, but curiosity. The chief studied her carefully. Your stepmother was blind or jealous, he said at last. You may stay. That night, as Rose slept safely for the first time in years, Takakota sat watching the fire. He had gone to buy horses. Instead, he had found a girl the world tried to erase. And he intended to make damn sure it never succeeded again.